Hi Nigel, great to meet up with you and do some further work on your game. Obviously the part we covered yesterday was fundamental number 1, which is learning to make solid contact. And we were talking about what all good players do, and it's the bare minimum requirement for every player, irrespective of age, technique, ability, etc. We need to control where the club hits the ground. And you can see quite clearly that as the ball struck, the player's low point occurs after the golf ball with an iron. Now with a driver, the ball's positioned more forward in the stance, so low point would occur nearer to, beg your pardon, wrong button. Low point would occur nearer to the left shoulder because that's where the ball is positioned, and as a result low point will be happening at the golf ball as opposed to in front of the golf ball. But ultimately we've got to control where the club hits the ground. If we make solid contact, the ball will go further and would go straighter than if we made an identical swing and made unsolid contact. So no matter which way you wrap it up, solid contact is the number 1 most important thing for any golfer. When you look at an established golfer, they always fulfill this criteria. It's very, very unusual to see a top player or even a good player at club level miss-hit a shot severely. The better the player, the more accurately low point is controlled, and therefore the quality of strike is always good. The curve on the ball is minimum, and distance is never really a problem. When we look at this swing, we can see that 2 things happen that allow low point to occur in front of the golf ball. The weight is forward through impact, and the handle is leading the club head through impact. If those 2 things are in place, so if the weight is forward and the handle is leading, there is very little chance of hitting the ground behind the ball, and your control of low point will become much more as it should be when you're hitting off grass. So weight forward and handle forward. And what we've got here are 2 instances during the session. We've got the drill where we've got the cane resting on the boxes, trying to hit underneath the cane. You can see on this one when you do this, the handle's leading much more than it was before, and we just bottom out a little bit behind the ball. So in this instance we've got the handle forward, but the weight hasn't moved forward. This was your best shot of the session, and what you've done here now is you've moved the handle forward, but you've also moved the hips forward. So the difference between those 2 swings is that the hips have continuously moved forward during the hit, whereas on this one the hips have remained too static during the hit. Every now and again you catch one thin or a little bit up the golf ball. The reason we do that is because in the past we've been so fearful of hitting the ground behind the ball that we've learned to divide the elbows to prevent that club crashing in the ground. Key thing that you need to work on is developing impact. Impact's everything. It's the only thing the golf ball understands. And the only way you're going to develop your impact position is by isolating it and appreciating what actually goes on through impact. The weight's got to be forward and the handle has to be forward. If you've got any questions regarding this, feel free to pop into the shop. If you're out there playing golf and you're hitting the ground behind the ball, you're only doing one of those 2 things. You've either got the weight moving back or you've got the handle moving back. Good luck with it, and look forward to watching it progress over the coming months. Well done.